From Daily Trust News Center, this is News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, fear grips Niger community as bandits kill village leader in Mashegu local government area. President Muhammadu Buhari rejoices with Christians as on Christmas assures Nigerians of victory over those who violently seek to disrupt the peace. Zaria community threatens legal action after power surge killed 11 people. And away from Nigeria, Zambia abolishes death penalty. Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now we begin with security matters. The village head of Mulo in Mashegu local government area of Niger State, Usman Garba, has been killed by bandits. The traditional ruler, who was shot dead after he was kidnapped alongside 3 other members of his community. The Niger State Commissioner of Internal Security and Humanitarian Affairs, Emmanuel Umar, disclosed this at a security briefing on Friday. Umar said that even though the rate of attacks had reduced in the state, there were still threats and pockets of attacks in some communities in Mashegu, Mariga, and Kontagora local government areas. The commissioner assured the residents of the state of peaceful Christmas and New Year celebrations, explaining that the security surveillance will be increased to curb the attacks. Daily Trust Niger State correspondent Abubakar Akote gives an update on the attack.
Currently, in Niger State, in some local governments such as Mashegu, Kontagora, and Mariga, there are concerns of attacks going on in some remote areas, especially areas that are very difficult to reach by security operatives. And the state government yesterday raised alarm that despite the fact that the state has witnessed peace and in the last few months, notwithstanding, attacks are still going on in some villages. And the same concern was also raised by residents in Rafi local government and Shiro local government, which some IDPs are saying that going back for this even forthcoming election may not be possible for them because most of the villages that were captured by bandits and insurgents are still not secured for them to return. The villager of Mulo was abducted on Thursday alongside 3 others, but some kilometers after the abduction, he was shot dead, and then his body was abandoned, and then they went away with the 3 others. The 3 other people are still in captivity, and there's assurance government is giving that they are making effort to ensure that those people are rescued, and then the security agents will also go after the kidnappers.
In a similar vein, bandits have reportedly killed 3 persons and abducted 8 others in Gangara local government area of Katsina State. The victims from Gangara and neighboring farming communities went to fetch firewood when they were surrounded by the bandits. Those who resisted being kidnapped were shot dead while the rest were whisked away. The bandits were said to have used the mobile phone of one of the deceased and called their relatives to evacuate their corpses. Reports say that the terrorists have already started calling relatives of the victims for ransom. The State Police Command, as at press time, was yet to confirm the incident. Troops of Operation Forest Sanity of the military have killed 10 bandits and recovered 6 operational motorcycles during an ambush patrol in the Chikung and Birningwari local government areas of Kaduna State. The State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, who disclosed this in a statement on Friday, said that the troops set up ambush positions at bandits' crossing points in Buruku, Birningwari areas. The troops, having made contact with the bandits, neutralized 8 of them and also recovered 4 motorcycles and 3 mobile phones in the first successful mission. In a similar operation, troops neutralized 2 bandits during clearance patrols. The troops recovered one AK-47 rifle, 2 magazines loaded with 52 rounds, 6 motorcycles and 3 mobile phones during the operation. The troops also dislodged camps around Garike and Galadimawa in Giwa local government area, recovering 3 Dane guns, 2 magazines, some military uniforms and 9 motorcycles. And away from security, President Muhammadu Buhari has assured Nigerians of victory over those who violently seek to disrupt the peace of Nigeria. Buhari gave this assurance on Saturday in his Christmas message to Nigerians ahead of this year's celebration. He reminded Christians of the symbolism between Christmas and hope, Jesus Christ and humility, Christianity and grace. According to him, this is a season of love, joy and peace that should reflect among Nigerians everywhere and anywhere. He stated that this year's Christmas celebration will be unique because it will be his last as the president of Nigeria. He hopes that whoever succeeds him as president next year will build on his successes in infrastructure, food security, anti-corruption, security and energy sufficiency. In a similar vein, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has rejoiced with the Christian faithful on the occasion of this year's Christmas. Gbajabiamila said Christmas, which is marked to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, is a period for sober reflection and rededication to his teachings and ways. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Lanre Lasisi, the Speaker enjoined Christian faithful and other Nigerians to use the period to pray for a peaceful and successful general elections in 2023. He said as the country was getting ready for the general elections, it was imperative for Nigerians to eschew any form of violence and acts that could undermine the peaceful conduct of the polls. As part of the 2022 Christmas celebration, the House of Representatives Press Corps has donated food items and clothing to the Karu Orphanage Home in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Chairperson of the Press Corps, Grace Ike, who presented the items, called on well-meaning Nigerians to support indigent children and orphanage homes in the country. She reminded Nigerians to emulate Jesus Christ, who made tremendous sacrifices for mankind. Receiving the items on behalf of the Children's Home, the administrator, Musa Danjuma, thanked the Corps for the gesture and told the benefactors that the home was being managed by the Social Development Department of the Federal Capital Territory. He also appealed for scholarships and other facilities that will enhance educational pursuit.
A lot of people will say, journalists, what are we doing here? Ours is to inform, is to educate, is to enlighten and, let the people know what is happening. But we are the conscience of the society, and that is why we are here. So we have our token to present. Do not look at it at the quantity of what we are giving. Look at the intention behind what we are doing. Yeah. Like I always say, it is good to give, and the greatest of it all is love. And love simply means affection. Christmas is the time to share love, to visit one another, and then share affection to one another. So we chose the orphanage home and this particular place to come let them know that we are brothers and sisters. They have blood running in them. These children are the leaders of tomorrow, whether we like it or not, and that's the more reason why we've decided to identify with them.
We have some in primary school, we have some in secondary, and we have undergraduate. Presently we have a undergraduate that is 400 level in University of Sokoto. One has graduated and got married on the 10th of December.
This year?
Yeah, 10th of December 2022. So educationally, just like, how costly it is, but support is from our supervising ministry, that is FCT, and donors like you came now. Some people bring cash, food and all those things. So that's how we sponsor them up to university level.
Now, the economic hardship sweeping across the country is taking its toll on the transportation sector in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Some of the residents who spoke to Trust TV's Jimmy Azande said that moving from one place to another has become challenging due to the increase in fares. Take a look.
In the state capital, the premium motor spirit is sold between 250 and 300 naira per litre. The unavailability of the petroleum product and the consequent price hike have led to an increase in transportation fare for intra- and intercity shuttles. With an increased demand for available commercial vehicles, some of the residents lamented that many have resorted to walking long distances.
Actually, I came here thinking that it's the usual price I do take home. But all of a sudden, I was shocked to discover that it's almost ×2 of the normal price. And the money I'm holding here with me is not more up to the amount they are calling me. So I'm just so stranded right now. Not for this period, there won't be additional price. And a lot of people are traveling. And I think it's because these people are traveling and they just decided to just increase this price. And
Others said the hike is as a result of the mass movement of people for the Christmas celebration. With no government mass-assisted vehicles, as was witnessed in the past, they said the situation is tensed.
Because of the Christmas period too, and another issue is the issue of petrol. Some people are complaining that the price of petrol is now higher than expected. So I think these are the challenges.
Because of this fuel scarcity, and I'm suffering to buy fuel. You understand? So that we don't tire. I don't know how those local government can rectify it so that make the fuel come down.
The fuel station along that part, there's like a jam, traffic jam, because due to the increment of fuel, and the vehicle which I'm sitting in, I'm finding it difficult to pass through on my way to Boko. So that has been the issue right now, and that's what we are facing. That's like a challenge for the passengers, me and the other passengers, and our driver and our vehicle.
Many of the residents also said they have not experienced tough times like what they are passing through at the moment. They are hopeful that a new government...
The Federal Capital Territory Police Commissioner Sadiq Idris Abubakar has felicitated with residents of the FCT on the occasion of Christmas and New Year celebrations. CP Abubakar also urged them to embrace love and peace, which are the core essence of the season, and shun all forms of violence. The CP, in a statement from the FCT Police Public Relations Officer, Josephine Ade, has equally banned the sales and use of all kinds of fireworks, firecrackers, and knockouts in the FCT. He noted that the order is part of proactive moves by the police to sustain the relative peace in the FCT and adequately contain crimes and criminality, particularly those peculiar to the end of the year during the Christmas and New Year festivities. The statement added that the CP has deployed both covert and overt security apparatus to ensure residents of the FCT enjoy the Yuletide season in a relatively calm environment. He ordered all divisional police officers and heads of police units within the FCT to carry out due enforcement of the ban and ensure that anyone who violates the order is arrested and brought to book. The leadership of Gorgwaje community has threatened to institute legal action against the Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company for supplying high voltage that led to loss of lives and property due to electrocution. The community had on Wednesday night suffered great losses as a result of what the electric company refers to as high-tension line snap on low-tension line leading to high voltage. The report.
The leader of the community and chief imam of Gwagwaje Jumat Mosque, Sharafuddin Salahuddin, said the community had already engaged the services of a legal firm to institute a suit against the electric company in order to secure compensation for victims of the incident. He said they are still compiling the list of those that lost their lives as well as level of damages suffered by the affected households.
And those that happens to be the victim, we call upon them, and we have already taken legal action in whereby we consulted our lawyer, leading by Barrister Ismail, and unanimously we agree that we are soliciting for the rights of our deceased people and those who lost their properties.
Some members of the community lamented the loss of lives and property and appealed for assistance for victims from government and public-spirited individuals.
Honestly, we have a serious problem. Yesterday, we witnessed the electrocution of our loved ones as electric poles went up in flames late in the night. It is very disturbing that the KAEDCO usually restores power only at night when people are asleep. The services are not commensurate with the money we pay. We are appealing to government to come to our aid.
Sources say the death toll from incident keeps increasing by day as more victims who sustained various degrees of injuries are discovered. The prompt reportage of the incident by the press that attracted some officials to the area is highly appreciated. Right now, we have officially documented 9 names of the deceased, but the number keeps fluctuating. Even during Friday's sermon, I had the Imam saying that about 15 to 20 people have been reported dead. The community is hopeful that a lawsuit against the Kaduna Electricity will ensure justice for affected victims and also avoid future reoccurrence.
Residents of Bauchi State say that they are confident that the local government administration will do better if state governors fully implement their autonomy. They stated this shortly after the state governor, Bala Mohammed, swore in 20 local government caretaker committee and 4 other state executive council members in Bauchi State. Adam Imam has more.
The swearing-in ceremony followed the recent expiration of the tenure of the former chairman. The state governor admonished the newly sworn-in caretaker committees and commissioners to understand the importance of holding public offices and charged them to be fair and just to all. The Gamawa local government representative, on behalf of the new council officers, thanked the governor for finding them worthy to serve the people. Meanwhile, residents of Bauchi expressed confidence that if local governments are given the freedom to operate independently, people at the grassroots will enjoy more dividends of democracy.
But actually, if at all the executive should, stand firm on their, faith, I believe to ensure that all state governors, implements this autonomy. I believe it will, bring so much development or to the grassroots people.
Local government is the people that are closer to is a body that closer to the people. So when they have their own autonomy, everything they have is go through them. They will do better than people cannot rush to the city. That is my understanding. The state government should try. The way President give the state government their own autonomy, they didn't hug them. So they're supposed to give them their own autonomy so that people, they will be happy there.
An aide of the governor, Musa Azare, noted that the state government has already granted the local government autonomy, adding that it is left for the officials to justify the confidence reposed on them.
Situation is a long story, but we thank God here in Bauchi State with the financial autonomy granted to local governments by His Excellency Senator Bala Mohammed. I think there is still hope for the common people who are living in these local government areas, who are living in the rural areas. Giving the financial autonomy to the local governments tantamounts to taking governance very close to these people and taking development to their doorsteps.
Many are hopeful that funds meant for local administration will indeed be appropriate for the development of the third tier of government, not just Bauchi, but across the country. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
President Muhammadu Buhari has described the Public Complaints Commission as the best suited agency to domicile the whistleblowing policy of the federal government. The president made his position known while reacting on Friday to request by the Chief Commissioner of the Commission, Abimbola Ayo Yusuf, and members of the management team during a courtesy visit to the presidential villa in Abuja. He also thanked the Commission for conferring him the award of the Grand Ombudsman of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, pledging to continue to do his best in expanding the frontiers of anti-corruption, rule of law, and good governance in Nigeria. Commissioner of the Commission, Abimbola Ayo Yusuf, briefed State House reporters on his meeting with the President.
Well, we came to see the President to tell him what we've been doing, what we're all about, and we need him to come into for assistance. We need funds to keep running. We need so many things because we serve as, how would I call it? For the masses. We work for the masses. Our job is free, alternative dispute resolution. So we need money for advocacy, to enlighten people, make them understand what we're doing. And now we have our radio station, but we're waiting for the President to sign and give us a license for it to start operating then. Those are the things we came to request from the President. And we thought for all the things he has been doing, we've just paid pension and all that, okay, we decided to give him an award, the Grand Ombudsman of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's why we're here. People notice us now, even with the elections coming up. We're going to participate in the elections. And after elections, people want to complain. It is Public Complaints Commission that will be there to receive them for their complaints against election malpractices. So we're there. 2023 is going to be a good year for Nigerians.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has affirmed Ikechi Emenike as the Abia State governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress for the 2023 election. While delivering a judgment on 3 appeal cases before it on Friday, the panel led by Justice Peter Olabisi Ige held that the May 26, 2022 primary election in which Emenike emerged was valid. In delivering the unanimous verdict, Justice Ige read out the names of the members of the panel sent by the National Secretariat of APC to conduct the governorship primary that produced Emenike, affirming that the exercise was valid. He faulted the report of the Independent National Electoral Commission, which Uche Oga had used to back his claims, saying that a report by the electoral umpire cannot validate an otherwise invalid primary. Both APC and its gubernatorial candidate, Emenike, had filed separate appeals challenging the verdict delivered by Justice Nyako, validating a purported direct primary election that Oga claimed he had conducted and won. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at why Bajoga Market is the biggest grains market. Details of this and more after the break. This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Ba a iya sutura da abinci jin daɗin duniyar mu ya ƙare. Za ka iya more rayuwarka da kayan alfarma na kamfanin Vento Furniture kamar su Ladi Corner Sets, Escape Sofa Sets, Acadia Sofa, Piano Sofa Sets, Sofa Corner Sets, Vento Sofa Sets. Sannan kuma za ku iya saka ƙayatattun gadaje na alfarma a ɗakunan kamar su Gold Cream Bedroom Sets ko kuma ku wadata falon ku da kujeru na alfarma irin su Sare Royal Set da Acadia Dining Sets. Ofishoshin ku kuwa za ku iya saka manya-manyan kujeru na kece raini domin walwala da jin daɗin ku da abokan hulɗa. Kamfanin Vento Furniture ya tanadar muku gadajen bacci na yara masu inganci, kayan ɗaki irin na angwaye da amare har ma da sarakuna. Muna da shagunan mu a gurare kamar haka: 79 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos; 7A Azikiwe Road, Port Harcourt; 25 Glover Road, Ikoyi, Lagos; Shop U1 Jabi Lake Mall, Abuja; da kuma 4330 Walker Road, Windsor, Ontario ga mazauna ƙasar Canada. Vento Furniture mun zagaye ko ina.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back from that break. You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Here's a look at the top stories again. Fear grips Niger community as bandits kill village head in Mashegu local government area. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari rejoices with Christians on Christmas, assures Nigerians of victory over those who violently seek to disrupt the peace. 4 students of Kogi State Polytechnic have been abducted by gunmen suspected to be kidnappers in Ondo State. The students were kidnapped by gunmen along the Akunu-Ajoa Highway in the Akoko Northwest area of Ondo State. The victims were said to have been on their way home for Christmas and New Year celebrations when the gunmen waylaid the vehicle they were traveling in. Following the development, the Ajoa community where the students were heading has been thrown into panic, raising tension among parents and other community members. Confirming the incident, the commander of police in Ikare, Akoko, Muri, Abwala, disclosed that his men have been combing the forest along the Akunu-Ajoa Akoko road in order to rescue the abducted students. Now, issues around the implications of drug abuse took center stage at a media literacy and advocacy program for Ogbomosho youth. Sam Glory reports that the advocacy became imperative following the rising cases of drug abuse in the area.
Drug abuse is a global health and social problem, with Nigeria having its fair share of the problem. The use of psychoactive substances among adolescents and youths have become a subject of public concern worldwide due to the fact that it is often resulting in bodily harm or injury. This media literacy and advocacy program for youths of Surulere Local Council of Oyo State is an enlightenment campaign designed to break the cycle of drug use and abuse.
The point of this is to correct the wrongs in the society by catching our youth young, by making them understand the implication and consequences of engaging in abusing drugs. And the idea is they have been told that those who are here, they are sample to the society, who are expected to go out, preach the gospel, that as time goes on, we'll get rid of those vices from our society.
Stakeholders here say they're worried about the spate of new entrants into the fast expanding cycle of drug abuse. To this end, they intend to develop a national blueprint for addressing issues of drug trafficking, production, cultivation, and abuse.
To implore that drug abuse is a menace and a big problem affecting so many, especially the young people, and all hands should be on deck to help because of the effects of drug abuse. There are different types of drug abuse. It's either you are using wrongly a prescribed drug, or you are taking what we call psychoactive substance like marijuana, tramadol, alcohol, cigarettes, and many others. So I want to encourage people to, as much as they can, get involved with this same message telling people to stop the use of this substance.
We want to tell people in the society that we should keep off from drug abuse. They should stay away completely from drug abuse. They should say no to drug abuse. Walk away where there is drug so that they can have a meaningful impact in their community, because drug destroys lives.
Drug abuse is endangering the productive potential of the youth population needed to drive a more vibrant economy. Experts here want a strategic approach towards putting this worrisome trend in check.
The All Farmers Association of Nigeria in Plateau State has disclosed why the price of Irish potato has skyrocketed in the state despite being the major producer of the commodity in the country. The association disclosed this in an exclusive interview with Trust TV in Jos, saying that several factors, including excessive rainfall during the rainy season this year, had contributed to the development. Ado Musa has more.
The large potato production from Plateau State, according to PotatoPRO.com, a leading information source for the global potato industry, has made Nigeria the fourth biggest producer in sub-Saharan Africa. However, despite being the #1 producer in Nigeria, stakeholders said the price of Irish potatoes this year is the highest in the last 2 decades in the state, with a 50 kg bag selling between 45 and 50,000 naira. Some consumers say the current price of the potato was beyond their reach and resorted to cheaper alternatives. John Jindab, state chairman of AFAN, said millions of naira were lost in this year's potato farming and spoke on reasons behind the hike in the price of the potato.
The issue of prices of potato, with the climate change, the excessive rainfall this year, and the potato blight, which was very severe. Almost 92% of what was produced during the wet season, the potato blight affected it. So most of the farmers are now on the field so that they can try the dry season, because the climate change made the rain very excessive, that all what they have produced became a waste. That is why you are seeing the current prices of potato in the market.
Asked if the demand for the crop is not a contributing factor to the increase in price, the AFAN chairman has this to say.
At the harvest season, it was still high, because it's not just a matter of demand. The demand is there really, but it is not available, because almost all, about 90-something% of the farmers suffered losses. You know, the demand will be very, very, very high.
The chairman, however, said lessons had been learned and explained how the challenges could be overcome ahead of the next farming season.
Sometimes it's we, the farmers, we don't follow the best agricultural practices, because there are remedies. Those who followed it suffered only minimal costs, losses. But we are believing that people have learned a lot because so many even have lost their lives because of the trauma of what happened. And you know, this is climate change and we have to adapt to it. So by adopting the modern and best agricultural practices, I think all these things will come to pass.
Although the prices of food commodities in the market have generally increased, the current price of potato is preventing households from eating it. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, Bajoga Grain Market, popularly known as Tudun Hatsi Bajoga, is one of the largest grain markets in Gombe State, which provides livelihood to hundreds of Nigerians. Ibrahim Ismail, who visited the market on a typical busy day, examines its potential and contributions to the economic growth of Gombe State.
Although this is not where it started, the Bajoga Grain Market was founded more than 60 years ago. Popularly known as Tudun Hatsi, the market hosts hundreds of grain merchants, retailers, laborers and transporters who convey the produce to different parts of the world. The Bajoga Grain Market, which operates on Thursdays, is a major selling point for maize, rice, beans, millet, and other varieties of grains. There are opportunities here. You can support young people who need start-up capital because of the blessings. Some don't have money, but they are making money, a lot of them. We buy sorghum, millet and beans. We transport beans to Taraba and sorghum to Zaria, Kaduna State.
Kamar dawa mun saye ta muna loda ta Kaduna, Zaria. Shine abun da muke yi.
Hundreds of laborers make fortunes from conveying, loading and offloading grains. Babayo Isa lifts 100 bags of grains daily at the cost of 100 naira each. An individual makes 10,000 or 7,500 naira daily. I wish jobless youth can join us. We can help them to do this job. They will be proud. We give contributions. We support any laborer who had an accident to pay his transport fare and other bills, and we can support the market officially. Some of the grain merchants who doubled as farmers say they lost their produce to devastating flooding, a situation that affected the potentials of the Bajoga grain market. I have about 5 farms, but I harvested only 2. I used to harvest 40 to 50 bags of millet, but I only got 4. I got a single bag of sorghum because the farmlands were washed away by floods.
The hope of these grain sellers, merchants and transporters in Bajoga Tudun Hatsi market is for the government to provide access roads that will give them opportunity to convey their goods easily from various villages to this Tudun Hatsi market, which will go a long way in boosting their own socio-economic activities in the area. From Bajoga Tudun Hatsi market, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Time now for us to take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Join us again. Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130.
A Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Really, if you look at England's squad,
You are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back from that break and thanks for staying with us. Now, away from Nigeria, Zambian rights activists Saturday hailed a huge milestone, a decision to scrap 2 British colonial-era laws, which are the death penalty and making criticism of the country's leader a punishable offense. President Hakainde Hichilema, whose party was in opposition for over 2 decades, had promised that he would scrap the laws if elected to the top job. The president's presidential spokesman, Anthony Bwalya, said in a statement on Friday that President Hakainde Hichilema has assented to the Penal Code of 2022, abolishing the imposition of death penalty and the offense of criminal defamation of the president, which has been on the Zambian statute books since the pre-independence era. Human rights activist Brenda Changala said that the decision was a huge milestone in the removal of colonial laws that do not fit into the democratic dispensation of the country. The executive director of the Center for Policy Dialogue, Caroline Katotobwe, said that Zambians who gained independence from British rule in 1964 will now speak freely. Burkina Faso's military government, in a statement on Friday, ordered senior United Nations official Barbara Manzi to leave the country immediately without giving a reason. When contacted, a government spokesperson did not immediately say why it had labeled Manzi, the UN's resident coordinator in Burkina Faso, as a persona non grata and demanded that she leave on Friday. A spokesperson at the UN headquarters did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Burkina Faso, one of the world's poorest countries, has been in the grip of a conflict in which armed groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the ISIL group have killed thousands of civilians and created one of the continent's fastest-growing humanitarian crises. Nearly 2 million people have been displaced and reside in makeshift camps, many run by the UN, that dot the arid countryside. A fire erupted overnight in a private illegal nursing home in the Siberian city of Kemerovo, killing 22 people, Russia's investigative committee said on Saturday. An investigative committee said on Telegram that 6 more were injured, with 2 of the hospitalized in a serious condition with burns. The fire spread over 180 square meters in a 2-story wooden building, the Russian state-run news agency TASS reported. In a video released by the emergency services, a long row of emergency vehicles lined up outside the burning building as firefighters tackled flames, which sent plumes of smoke into the night sky. Images released by emergency services show that the building later completely burnt out. And in sports news, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria have been drawn in a tough group featuring the host country, Egypt, for the 2023 Total Energies Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. The draw, which was conducted in Cairo, Egypt on Friday night, also put Mozambique and Senegal in Group A to battle for top spots with Nigeria and Egypt. The Total Energies Egypt 2023 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations will take place from 19 February to 11 of March 2023. The host cities are Cairo, Group A, Ismailia, Group B, and Alexandria, Group C. The 12-nation tournament will begin with a mouth-watering opening game between host Egypt and Mozambique on Sunday, 19th of February 2023 at 1600 local time. A member of Oman's parliament, Ahmed Al-Barwani, has offered Argentina's World Cup winning captain Lionel Messi $1 million for the bisht which the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, gifted him following his team's victory over France at the finals on Sunday in Doha. The bisht is an Arabic robe traditionally worn for special or ceremonial occasions such as weddings or religious festivals. The Qatar Emir decorated the 7-time Ballon d'Or winner with the bisht as he was about to lift the coveted trophy. Making his offer in a Twitter post, Al-Barwani, who is also a lawyer, congratulated Messi on winning the World Cup, adding that he was dazzled by the presentation of the bisht, a symbol of magnanimity and wisdom over Messi's shoulder. Argentina dethroned France as world champions following 4-2 victory on penalties after a 3-3 draw in a dramatic 120 minutes of football that saw Mbappe score a hat-trick, while Paris Saint-Germain teammate Lionel Messi scored a brace for Argentina, with Angel Di Maria scoring the other goal for the South American champions. Still on sports news, Manchester United attacker Marcus Rashford has signed a contract extension keeping him at the club until 2024, the English outfit announced on Saturday. The new contract, on a reported £250,000 a week plus bonuses, makes him the highest paid English player in the Premier League, according to the Independent newspaper. The 25-year-old agreed a new deal alongside Diogo Dalot, Fred and Luke Shaw, with the 4 players' current contract up at the end of the season. The England forward came through United's academy and was part of his country's squad that reached this month's World Cup quarterfinals. The Ten Hag's side, 5th in the table, returned to Premier League action following the World Cup break on Tuesday as they host Nottingham Forest. Now, before we go, here's a kicker. The award-winning country music duo from the Kingdom of Eswatini were recently the subject of director Jesse Rudoi's hugely entertaining and warmly inspiring documentary, Dusty and Stones. The duo described the documentary as a dream come true, as the world gets not just to hear their story, but put a sense of approval in what they are. Let's take a look.
Howdy Africa, this is Dusty and Stones, all the way from the Kingdom of Eswatini. We are country singers, we play guitar, we write our own songs. Yeah, along the way we've had a lot of things to celebrate. We've had achievements. We're part of the Texas Sounds International Country Music Awards, and we're the first Africans to do that, and we brought home the Best Duo of the Year award. Country music is all about that. So you hear people singing about their parents, their sisters, their loved ones. It could be your wife, it could be your girlfriend, but it's all about family.
The stories that are being told in country music, we relate to them because of the place that we grew up from. They are talking about farms, they are talking about singing about old trucks, mountains, and all the country life. So we relate to that.
Well, we also have stories to tell. I cannot be just singing their songs every time, but I can use the musical platform to tell my own African story. And for me, I think that's the unique thing about us singing country music. We're using an American platform to tell an African story. For us, it's a dream come true that the world gets to hear our story, not just to hear, but to see, because this is just self-taught stuff. But to us, it means that whatever we're doing is right. To have some great players in the US, in Nashville, play in our songs and sort of approve or put the stamp of approval in what we are doing, for us, that means, okay, whatever we are doing is actually, we are on the right track, if I may put it that way.
And with that, we wrap up the news hour for tonight. And here is wishing you compliment of the season. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Don't forget to connect with us across all our social media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube, where we always stream live. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.